The smoke-free housing rule, before it goes into effect, there were a number of different steps that NYCHA took to involve the community and other stakeholders in this process. We sat on their Smoking and Health Advisory Group that actually met over the summer of 2017, which was headed up by the Health Initiatives Department within NYCHA. Amongst the public health professionals and tobacco control experts, NYCHA residents who were also included. NYCHA will also be doing a series of community meetings and events leading up until the implementation of the rule this summer.
I'm a firm believer that residents are really the experts when it comes to their experience and how things could be rolled out at the development level. First step is to make sure that we address people's concerns with regard to them losing their homes. The answer is no, we're not trying to evict people. And that's also the guidance we got from HUD. It's not about eviction, it's about education. Then the enforcement questions kind of get dealt with. We have 70 community meetings that we'll be doing from January through June and July to let people know about it and get the word out. We have to make sure we talk to residents, partner with them so we can make it happen. No smoking in the public housing units, right? That's in the apartments. So no smoking in the public housing units and outdoor areas within a 25-foot perimeter of the building, residential and administrative. And that's what the rule is stating. E-cigarettes is not covered by the rule. We're talking about burning tobacco, cigars, things like this, pipes, whatever that is, that's what we're talking under the rule. There will be gradual enforcement, and this is something that everybody's been wondering. That's the first question. How are you going to enforce this? What does that look like? HUD recommends that it's graduated, and this is what we're doing. We're going to allow staff and residents to be able to report violations. The reason this is important is because staff are also impacted by this rule. There'll be an informal and formal conferencing in response to violations. That's the first thing is, hey, do you know that NYCHA is now smoke-free? If the person says yes, or if they say no, they continue the conversation. And what we're doing is asking property management to then provide either cessation support or tips for people to comply to the rule.
I know it's going to be hard to enforce this law.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about individuals' apartments and stuff. With the new lease addendum, how are they going to enforce that?
So the lease addendum means that anyone who violates it or violates the rule would actually be violating their lease, right? And so how do we enforce that? Again, it'll be the informal process, which I mentioned before, a conversation with the property manager, and then a formal process. But we're not starting with that because we want to have those conversations about cessation support, about why we have the rule and the rationale first. So that's what enforcement looks like. Now with the particulars of the procedure, who gets contacted when, how long before a violation is reported and then acted upon, all these things, these are the questions we're trying to answer right now during this time period. So I can't give you that answer. I don't want to say, oh, if a call comes in 14 days we're going to respond, because we don't know yet, right? So we're waiting for that. But once we get that, we'll make sure to put that out so everyone could know.
I thought it was very informative. I thought it was a lot of good points that they brought out and the rules and regulations that we're going to have to adhere to. And it's about people's health. When I smoked, I was much younger than what I am now, you know. But I think health-wise, you know, that people need to be more serious and take more consideration as far as your health is concerned, because smoking is an addiction.
And talking about smoke-free housing, people will say, NYCHA, you guys have all these other things with maintenance and repairs. Don't you have other priorities? And what I always say is, yeah, we have a lot of priorities, a lot of problems that need to be addressed. And just because we have these problems, there's no way we can say, let's let something like secondhand smoke not be addressed. All of these problems are being worked on. How can we put aside something as important as secondhand smoke exposure?